Lesson 2.2.3 Comment Tags. In this lesson, we will learn how to actually create tags to put in the body of our HTML document, to actually put something that will actually show up in a browser window. Okay, if you remember from the previous lesson, we currently have our portfolios look somewhat like this, right? We have the three folders, images, scripts, and styles, and we have the 5 HTML files, right? The 5 HTML. However, if you remember, all of these HTMLs, they just have core meta tags. So if we look at our index.html file in Notepad++, it looks like this. And when we view it in a browser, right? View it in a browser, what is it going to look like? It's going to look, if we run it, launch in Firefox, it just is a blank page. So now what we're going to do is we're going to now add content to it so that it now going to look like, and this is what the tags look like, right? When we finish this is what the tags look like here. I'll let you look at it there. And when we view that, when we view it in Firefox, it'll look like this. Okay, so that's what's going to happen here in this particular lesson. So we'll move these away here. Okay, so we have this index.html, and this is our blank one here. You can see in Notepad++, I still have the other HTML files in my portfolio that are blank. But we're just going to do the index.html for this particular lesson. So where do we get the text from? If you remember at the beginning of the unit, we created a file that looks something like this. The web portfolio, all about me, about this course, etc., etc. Okay, right? This is. Now what we're going to do here, and this was the outline of our web portfolio that we're going to create, of our homepage. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to use, now there are a variety of ways you can do it. I'm going to do Control A to select everything, right? Or you could do Home, right? Control A to select everything. I say, or and then you can copy it, right? Copy, and then I'm going to paste it into my index.html. Okay. And now where do I want to paste it? I want to paste it into the body after this comment here, right? Because the body is what actually contains the actual text that shows up in the browser window. Okay. Return, and I'm going to Control V. Control V, or I can go Edit, Paste, like that. Okay. And this is now what it looks like, right? And I can delete this comment here, the content of my web page, because now the content of my web page is already there. Okay. Now if I save, now once I've done that, I can file and I can save, right? Control S or save. Okay. And I can running, and I can launch in Firefox. And this is what it looks like. Ooh, doesn't really look too great here, right? So now we have to add tags to turn this into this. Okay, we go from here with just pure text into here. Okay, that looks somewhat formatted. Okay, so now let's see what it says to do. Okay, we did that. All right. So now we're going to, it says here at step 4, we're going to add web portfolio. We're now going to mark up the heading with an H1 tag. Okay, so we go here and we put here, we can delete this spaces here, H1. That. We're going to close H1 there. One here, right? And that's that. Okay. Then what we're going to do, right? And note that the H1 marks the main heading within an HTML document. Note that the H1, the main heading, is different from the title, which appears in the title bar. Okay. Now we want to create two blocks of content, one with the information of class and one of the information of you. What we want to do here is we want to put div tags around these. What these div tags will do, that these basically just explain a particular section of your HTML document. So we want to create div tags, right? And again, we go to here, all about me, right? We want to put, so we want to create a div tag here. Div tag here, right? And note, remember that whenever we do this, whenever we open up a div, right, we have to close it, right? So we have to go that div. And then about this course, we have to also create another div instead of div. And we will see how we're going to use these divs later. About this course and div. Oh, it's a closing tag like that, right? Okay, like that. Right, so we did these two here. Now it says the remaining, so now we have to done that. Now the next thing we need to do is to add some of the subheaders, right? We've already done H1, the H1 header, which is the main header, but now we want to have H2 for some of our subheaders. Okay. We also want to start marking the paragraphs with P's so that we can view these. Okay. Yep. So now we're going to do that. Okay. So these are our subheaders. All about me is a subheader H2, and everything must close. So we have to close this here. H2. About this course. 2. About this course H2. Oops, close H2. About my site. 2. Close H2. Now for each of these units also we have to do H2s, right? H2. 2. Close H2. H2. Close H2. H2, right? Ooh. And then I should delete, this is something that isn't necessary here, so I'll delete that. Okay. And then the other thing that they want us to do is to put P tags, which mark paragraphs, around some of the main paragraphs in our statement. Okay. In our HTML document. So let's go edit that. So these should all contain paragraphs. P right, and all the main paragraphs in here go P. Notice I when it close I have to go P, right? P. Now if I were okay, we'll just do it this way. Now all of the paragraphs, close P. Oh, see, that's still an open one, so I want to close that P there. All around all the paragraphs, go around. P, close P. Okay, so that's, and here's another paragraph here. P, close P. P, close P. So now that's much of what we wanted to do, all the paragraphs here. Now I'm going to file, save, or use Control S. And now let's view it again. Now we can go here. This is, ooh, where is it? Let me bring this here. This is what our page looks like, right? Before. I'm going to refresh it using the reload current page, or you can use F5, right? This is what it looks like. Now that looks pretty good. Ooh. You can see here though that this H2 here didn't close correctly. And some of these, notice that all the information about me all has is all in one line, and all of these bullet points here, they have these strange question marks, plus they're all in one line, right? And instead, rather, I want to break these up. Okay, so two things I need to do. Okay, so we'll come back here. We'll need to fix this. Okay, so first thing we need to fix is the about my site, and this needs to here, right? We need to fix that there, H2. Okay, and then to fix these other things, to create a sort of a list feel to it, we're going to use what is known as a BR tag, a break tag. This will create a line feed. So we do this, BR, like that, right? We have something like that, right? BR, and we'll do this, and BR, oops, and I can just copy this BR tag. So I'm going to just copy this here, copy, Control C, copy there, copy there. Now here, these bullet points that came from Word, we don't really want those because those don't show up well in HTML. Okay, I want to go there. I want to delete this, all these here. And I want to paste the BR tag. Okay, and now I'm going to file. I'm going to save again. And then I'm going to bring up my web page here. I'm going to try and refresh. And now that looks pretty good. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Now the only thing, one more thing I need to do here, if you look at the is step 7, is putting in a main tag. We'll see how to use this more later on, but for now we'll just follow the instructions, and they want us to put a main tag in our header for later use. Now this main tag should go just before about my site. So, and this will contain what is known as the main information in our web page. I'm going to open up with a main tag, and for every tag I have to close it. And this has to close. Now it has to close before the body, right? And I close the main tag here. Okay. And I can delete like this, like that. Okay. Okay. So that is pretty close to it, right? Let's go look and see what they have here. I can file and save. Okay. Now that's it. You can refresh it and see that it's still working. Okay. And this, for your viewing pleasure, is what your document should look like. You see we have the essential tags at the top. We have an H1 tag here for web portfolio. We have H2 tags here for the various headers. See all these headers here. Headers here. Right, we have our closing, main, body, and HTML tags there. You can see we have a div around the All About Me section and About This Course section, right? There's two separate divs here and here. And we have paragraph tags for sentences that we want to treat as paragraphs. And we have the BR, the break tag here, right, for list items. Okay. So this is how to do this particular lesson. This is probably the longest lesson, or one of the longer lessons that you have to do in this course. Thank you.